Did you ever have a fight with your brother or sister? Well, what does the Bible say about fighting with our siblings? That's our brothers or sisters. Listen and see. Who makes you mad? Who makes you really, really mad? Is it the kid who lives down the hall from you? Or maybe you even have to share your bedroom with them. You know, those sisters and brothers in our family. The older ones, they're know-it-alls. And the younger ones, they get into our stuff all the time. And our parents are always saying, "Stop fighting, you guys." And they're wanting us to get along and make peace. Well, my friends Abby and Emma Bohr are going to share about their sister fights.
Hi, I'm Emma.
And I'm Abby.
And we used to fight a lot.
Especially when we were younger, we used to fight about practically everything. Like who would sit in the front seat, over toys, or if she was in my space, we would get mad at each other, and it would get really out of hand. And we really just didn't like to be around each other at that point. It was kind of miserable to be at home because we were constantly feeling tension and on the verge of fighting.
And me being the younger one, I'd always take her stuff, and that would cause a lot of problems, obviously.
True. But then we had constantly been told by people at our church that when you're older, you're going to regret fighting with your siblings, and you're going to regret being mean to each other. And you don't believe them at the time, but as we've gotten older, we've kind of learned that that's very true. And especially as we've grown stronger in our relationships with Christ, we've begun to realize that He's placed certain people in our lives for a reason. And so now we don't really fight that much at all, but we just
We're
kind
more
of
like best friends
Yeah.
rather than fighting sisters.
Yeah, we like to hang out with each other now. But so it's just really important to remember that they are right when they say that you're going to regret fighting with your sister, and your sister will end up being one of your best friends because they'll be with you for the rest of your life.
And you get to spend a lot of time with them.
Which is great. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
It seems fighting is just a part of growing up. But what does the Bible say about sisters and brothers fighting? In the book of Matthew, it says that Jesus said before you go to church or before you pray, that you should fix the problem with each other. That's pretty important. God says before we go to Him, we should go to each other. We should apologize, or we should forgive the other person for what they've done. It's so important to remember that God made our families, and He wants us to treat them with love and to remember that they're very special to us. And He's not just talking about our families, but our church families too. Paul was a writer in the Bible, and in the book of Romans, he said to the church family, he said, make peace, encourage one another, and extend mercy. That means forgive one another. So we should try to get along. And if you're thinking, there's no way I can get along with them, then remember the verse in the Bible, Philippians 4:13, that says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You know, God never gives us a job to do unless He gives us the strength to do it with. So pray and ask God to help you to get along with your brothers and sisters. And then you'll feel God's strength. And when you start to fight, just stop and say, I'm sorry. Or maybe even say, let's pray about this so we can try our best to get along and keep our families special and peaceful. See you next time.